Friends, welcome then to the last part of our celebration this evening of Maundy Thursday. We come now to the time of the watch in the garden. Before I come to read the Gospel of the Watch, if you do want to watch a live stream of an altar of repose in parts of the world where the church is able to be open, at least for the watch, then if you simply put into your Google search on the computer or on your tablet, live watch at altar of repose, live watch at altar of repose, and you'll find plenty of options to click on and to watch. Or you, of course, can just simply sit quietly in your own home without any visual stimuli to watch and wait with the Lord. Tomorrow morning, on Good Friday, I will post the prayers and reflections for the day. And then at 3 o'clock tomorrow, I will post the Liturgy of the Lord's Passion, the main service of the day, so that you can join with me in prayer on that most solemn day as we stand at the foot of the cross. And if you want to join the Churches Together service by Zoom tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, then just follow the information in the email that I sent you earlier today. So let us be still together now, as in the silence of this holy night, we listen together to the Gospel of the Watch and join in our hearts and minds with the Lord Jesus in his suffering. St. John writes, "When Jesus had spoken these words, he went out with his disciples across the Kidron Valley, where there was a garden, which he and his disciples entered. Now Judas, who betrayed him, also knew the place, for Jesus often went there with his disciples. So Judas, having procured a band of soldiers and some officers from the chief priests and the Pharisees, went there with lanterns and torches and weapons. Then Jesus, knowing all that would happen to him, came forward and said to them, 'Whom do you seek?' They answered him, 'Jesus of Nazareth.' Jesus said to them, 'I am he.' Judas, who had betrayed him, was standing with them. When Jesus said to them, 'I am he,' they drew back and fell to the ground. So he asked them again, 'Whom do you seek?' And they said, 'Jesus of Nazareth.' And he said to them, 'I am he.' I told you I am he said. So if you seek me, let these men go. This was to fulfill the word that he had spoken. Of those whom you gave me, I have lost not one. Then Simon Peter, having a sword, drew it out and struck the high priest's servant and cut off his right ear. The servant's name was Malchus. So Jesus said to Peter, 'Put your sword into its sheath. Shall I not drink the cup that my Father has given me?' So the band of soldiers and their captain and the officers of the Jews arrested Jesus and bound him. First they led him to Annas, for he was father-in-law of Caiaphas, who was high priest that year. It was Caiaphas who had advised the Jews that it would be expedient that one man should die for the people. Simon Peter followed Jesus, and so did another disciple. Since that disciple was known to the high priest, he entered with Jesus into the court of the high priest. But Peter stood outside at the door. So the other disciple, who was known to the high priest, went out and spoke to the servant girl who kept watch at the door and brought in Peter. The servant girl at the door said to Peter, "You also are not one of this man's disciples, are you?" He said to her, "I am not." Now the servants and the officers had made a charcoal fire because it was cold, and they were standing and warming themselves. Peter also was with them, standing and warming himself. The high priest then questioned Jesus about his disciples and his teaching. Jesus answered him, "I have spoken openly to the world. I have always taught in the synagogues and in the temple, where all Jews come together. I have said nothing in secret. Why do you ask me? Ask those who have heard me what I said to them. They know what I said." When he said these things, one of the officers standing by struck Jesus with his hand, saying, "Is that how you answer the high priest?" Jesus answered him, "If what I said is wrong, bear witness about the wrong. But if what I said is right, why do you strike me?" Annas then sent him bound to Caiaphas, the high priest. Now Simon Peter was standing and warming himself. So they said to him, "You also, are you not one of his disciples?" He denied it and said, "I am not." One of the servants of the high priest, a relative of the man whose ear Peter had cut off, asked him, "Did I not see you in the garden with him?" Peter again denied it, and at once a cock crowed. This is the gospel of the Lord. So may we now keep watch. Let us wait and pray with the Lord.